Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Rusty Beauties Restorations. Again, today we're gonna be on the 66 GT6. I haven't done much lately on it because I was busy with other things. Not restorations. I had to study for a test and I passed yesterday. It was the test for my Canadian citizenship, so now I'm pretty sure that I know a little bit more than most of the Canadians about Canada. So anyways, I passed the test, so soon I'm gonna be called to take the oath and then I'm gonna be Canadian. So 10 years after I arrived in Canada, I'm finally a Canadian. So far I've been permanent resident. Anyways, thanks for the congratulations. And let's start crack-a-lacking. So I forgot already what I've done here because it's been a while, but yeah, this is what we've done. We repaired this side of the wheel well, and now we just have to repair this side, and that's completing all the repairs, I believe, on the bonnet. And then we're gonna have to take everything apart, clean, paint underneath, do whatever we're gonna do, and assemble the bonnet permanently. So without further ado, let's get crack-a-lacking. Okay, so to repair that, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it off like this, because this whole entire piece needs to be changed. But you can see here there's a dent. So first of all, let's clean this up a little bit and then try to straighten this dent before we cut off the piece, so the two pieces match, because we're gonna use this as a template and we want this curve to match the curve that's gonna stay on the wheel well. So let me clean it up and straighten this dent quickly. Okay, let's cut it like this. Yeah, just let's cut it all the way. We're gonna see how we're gonna remove the flange from here because we don't have much access. I'm gonna grind it. But here behind there's the pipe that holds the whole entire bonnet, so we're gonna have to be very careful not to cut through it. Okay, we have a small problem here. So this piece underneath, I don't know if you see it, but I welded it to this just temporarily, but now I can't cut it off. I can't remove it. So we're gonna have to kind of destroy this piece, which wasn't my idea. I didn't want to destroy it because I wanted to use it as a pattern. There you go. Yeah. So we mangled a little bit the piece underneath, but we kind of saved this so we can use it as a pattern. So let me clean this flange. I have to get rid of this flange here that I just cut off from here. And then we're gonna start making this one. Okay. Okay, that looks good. Now, here, of course, we're gonna have to stretch it in the middle, and we can do that on the planishing hammer, I guess. So let's mark the area. In this area, we're gonna need to stretch it, and here a little bit as well. Here it is flat. So that's our final shape. We're gonna cut a piece of metal that's a little bit bigger than that. We're gonna try to shape it to this shape, and then we're gonna cut it to the size. Okay, so here's our piece, and we want to stretch this area, but we want to push it down, so we need to do it this way, which is gonna be tricky now to mark. So if we put it this way, it is pretty much this area here, and a little bit in this direction, very little. I put this die with a little crown on it, so let's see what's gonna happen here. Now, the compressor is gonna kick in, so it's gonna become noisy. Sorry about that. I need another glove. Okay, I came here on the English wheel, so I can smoothen it up a little bit because it was all in dots, and you see how the English wheel makes the finish much better. So I'm gonna do a little bit more. Okay, that's good. So now I guess we're gonna bend it by hand here. And we're gonna compare it to our piece. Good, so a little bit more here. Okay. I guess we need to bend the flange here so we can test it on the car. Now it won't fit, so let's mark where it's gonna go. So I'm gonna line it up here at the bottom. I need to use another one that doesn't have the flats like this one. Okay, that line's pretty good. So now we can mark our flange, which needs to be here. And we can actually mark where to cut it. So I'm gonna try to bend it on the vise manually so it doesn't become too sharp. Maybe a little bit sharper. Let's cut this line. I'm not going to shorten the flange yet because we might need to rebend it in a different place. So let's see how it's going to fit on the car. So this needs to come up a little. Like this. Okay, we're getting there. I think we need to stretch a little bit more here. because the curve obviously is matching, because here we are matching and here we are matching, but here we're taking a shortcut. So I'm gonna stretch it a little bit more on the planishing hammer. I'm gonna cut this flange a little bit on an angle, because that's how I cut the other flange there, on an angle. Ooh, look at that. Perfect. So now we just need to grind this to make it the same shape, and we need to stretch this flange a little bit, but looks like we don't need to relocate it. So we're gonna shorten it and we're gonna stretch it a little bit so we can have a little bit of a curve here to match this curve. Like this maybe. Okay, you stay here, I'm gonna go test it and I'll be back. We're close, just a little bit more here. And that should do it. Nice. Now let's fix this shape here. So this needs to come down a little, all the way to here. I actually have to bend, need to bend it more here. Okay, that's perfect. Great. So let's think about it now. To weld it here, we can use the spot welder, I guess. When we remove the fender, we're gonna have access, so we can do spot welds. That's fine. But for here, the other piece, let me show you. The other piece comes underneath. So we have two options. We either make the other piece now and spot weld them together separately and then weld them together, or we can drill holes here and later slide in the other piece and make plug welds. And I think I'm gonna go for the latter, because if we weld them together separately, we might weld them in the wrong orientation. It's not impossible, but it's much easier to do plug welds later. So let me just drill holes and we can tuck this in place. We need to drill hole for here too. So let me mark that. Okay. So that's where it is. We're gonna drill a hole right in the center of that. And here, we're gonna start from here and I'm gonna drill multiple holes here, like that. So, okay, so the holes are drilled. I painted the flange and I painted on the back here where they're gonna overlap. Painted this flange as well. And now, while we're waiting for it to dry, let's try and make the other piece. I'm gonna use this paper that has lines to line up more or less where this flange is coming. So this is where our flange is gonna be. And we're gonna extend it a little bit, of course, because we need to bend it down. And here, like this. Here we're gonna have to go a little bit higher than that line. Like this. That's our piece. Again, I'm gonna have to stretch maybe a little bit here. Okay, so here is our piece. I cut it, and now I'm debating whether to stretch it a little bit here or not. And I came to the conclusion that I have to, because even though this piece is pretty flat here, it should have a little curve. Oh, mosquitoes. It should have a little curve because this flange here will need to have a curve, because the one that is matching it here, we already made a curve on that one and it needs to have a little curve. So if we have a curve here like that, obviously we need to have a little curve here as well. So we're gonna stretch it just a little bit here. And other than that, if we bend the flange and put it here at the edge of the table, and we put this one here, that's how it comes, right? It goes a little bit higher. It needs to be pretty much like that. So we're gonna stretch it just here a little bit in this area, like right here. Let me mark it with my dirty finger. So we're gonna do the rough job here, and then we're gonna planish it on the English wheel. Now let's mark our flange. Again, we're gonna bend it on the vise. I want it sharper. Okay, that's good. It's not like on the brake, you see? And now you see how here we have concave shape, but here we're flat. So that's why we're gonna bend the flange a little bit more here on the stretcher, and then this whole entire shape, we're gonna have a valley here in this area. Good. Just gonna run it on the English wheel again, just to make it smooth, just to get rid of the hammer marks. Nice. Now we need to bend it to match this shape, right? Okay, I think we should weld this one in place first, and then as this one is welded, we're gonna adjust this. We're gonna do the fine tuning. So let's tuck this one in place. Now they overlapped a little bit here, so I'm gonna have to make a gap. And the hole matches. Interesting. So now let's fit the other piece. Okay, we are a little bit too long, so I'm gonna trim the top end. What I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna line up the bottom end here. I'm gonna mark where we need to get rid of the flange. This flange we need to get rid of so it can drop down, but also I'm gonna mark where these holes are, and that's gonna give me an idea. Or actually, that's stupid. I can just draw a line here, and now I can see where to cut this to shorten it. Well, maybe it's a good idea also to mark, you know what, I'm gonna mark also the holes, because this way I'm gonna make sure that I don't cut it too short. So something like that. But other than that, it fits pretty well, right? Okay, oh, forgot to paint this. Okay, we can still paint it. Okay, so now I trimmed it here and here, but now the shape changed a little bit here because I didn't think of that. I had it like this before and I marked it, so now it changed a little bit, but that's fine. We still have meat here in the back where to do the plug welds. So I'm gonna mark this new shape like this, and we're gonna try to make a step on the bead roller. Of course, we're not gonna be able to make a step here at the end, but we're gonna try to do it manually somehow. We're gonna figure out a way. Okay, so I put the step dice on the bead roller and I made a test. And this is what it looks like. I think it's perfect. So, of course, we're not gonna be able to do it all the way. We're gonna have to stop somewhere here. I guess you don't see anything, eh? Me neither. Let's see how far we can go. That's it. Okay, there's just a little bit here that we need to bend, and we need to bring this back to shape, but I think it's good. Okay, let me see if I can destroy my parallel jaw pliers. Though I don't have that tool that makes the step, manual tool, but even if I did, I don't think it was gonna work here. Okay, actually works. Need a square hammer like this, so I can put it in the back. With the rubber mallet, I can smash it. It does something. That's it. This, of course, needs to be shrunk a little bit in the corner. Okay, I think that's enough. Okay, that actually is not bad at all. So let's paint it and weld it. Actually, I'm forgetting something. I need to, and now I painted the back of this one, I need to make holes for plug welds here to this, so they need to be, this is the line and this is where it ends, this flange. So paint. So this is the line here and from here, and this is where it ends, so we need a few holes here. So I'm gonna drill this, I'm gonna paint here, I'm gonna paint the back, I'm gonna paint here. This is already painted, so I'm gonna paint all that and then we're gonna weld it. Okay, so this is painted, the holes are drilled, and now while it's drying, I'm gonna come and weld this. I'm gonna weld it and grind it, and then we're gonna weld the other one. Okay, I made a mistake, I don't know how, but I raised this end too high. You see it overlaps weird, and that raised it from here and raised it from here. So I don't know why I was not looking, but I need to get rid of these two plug welds now, and that's gonna be tricky. So I'm just gonna drill them, push this down, and then weld them again. Okay, I drilled those and now I can lower it, and that's how it needs to be. Honestly, I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, I'm gonna weld these now and then these. Ta-da! It's all ground down and now it fits like a glove. So now the only problem is here, you see a little bit of the hole, but we're gonna have to come on the outside anyways and fill this up a little bit more and weld it. But you know what, I'm gonna do that on my own. I don't want to hold you here because now it is almost the end of the day and I want to cut this video here and go and sit down on the computer and edit it and post it. And it's not a huge project, it's a little patch that we made, but I wanted to post something. Some of you might think that I gave up or something. No, I was just busy studying, like I was back to school for a while. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today, guys. So thanks for watching, thanks for commenting and subscribing, thanks for supporting me, and thanks for sharing and all that good stuff. Just to remind you that if you wish to become Patreon, there's a link in the description, or you can support me via PayPal. There's information about that in the description as well. So if you feel like saying thank you, Elin, there's multiple ways down there. But you don't need to do that in order to watch all my videos. They are all free and they're available without being a patron or without supporting me financially. That's only if you want to say thank you. Also, there's the Facebook group called Rusty Beauties. If you're not a member, you can find the group, not the page. There's a page called Rusty Beauties, but it's boring there. Everything is happening in the group. There's, I think, 1,200 or 1,250 members, something like that, in the group. So if you go to Facebook, click on groups, type Rusty Beauties, and the Rusty Beauties group is gonna show up. There's lots of interesting stuff happening there. So once again, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, which is gonna be soon. Bye.